I'm JP Tuesday.
And I'm Kiki Cannon. As lifelong Disney fans, the work of countless talented Disney creatives have shaped our lives.
Now, as the Disney catalog expands, we're taking a journey through film and television to discover if that spark that shaped us as children lives on in adulthood.
Does your favorite Disney media still cast that same spell? Join us as we find out. We are Rewatching the Magic.
Hi, Kiki.
Hi, Tuesday.
We're doing something a little different. Our next episode, which will be on The Simpsons, is going to be a really long one. So we're going to take this moment to do our first ever Minisode, going over everything that got announced at Disney Plus Day last week. And it was a lot. Like, everyone's social media was blowing up over all of these announcements.
Yeah, I woke up on Disney Plus Day, and my social media was just filled with just
Yeah.
We're kind of the people that get I think both of us kind of get, because we do the Disney podcast, everybody is just immediately sends us all the Disney stuff. So I know that I just woke up to, every single person on the planet having sent, have you seen this yet? So
let's kind of go through. First off, before we get into all the stuff that got announced, disappointed that nothing Muppets got announced on Disney Plus Day.
Yeah, I was really hoping for some Muppet stuff. They've spent the whole year kind of building up the new Muppet Studio
and the Haunted Mansion special.
Yeah.
Like, WTF.
More Muppets.
More Muppets indeed. I mean, recently they put the Muppets in Disneyland doing Christmas carols.
That was really cute.
So yeah, if you're in Disneyland during the holidays, you might see the Muppets singing Christmas carols. But again, let's take that and do more with them with the Disney Plus. More specials, more something. So let's move on to our first thing, which is Lucasfilm Star Wars stuff, including the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. We got a little sizzle reel on Disney Plus Day. No footage from the show. We got some concept art, but we got an interview with Ewan McGregor himself, and he's really looking forward to it. And he's, the big thing that he's looking forward to is working with Hayden Christensen again. I'm very interested in how they're going to incorporate this.
Yeah, I was shocked to hear that Hayden Christensen will be back.
Yeah, the last time we saw Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader, he had barbecue.
Yeah, not really conducive to coming back.
Maybe it's a dream sequence. Maybe he will actually be the voice of Darth Vader, which is disappointing.
An interesting choice, if so.
Yeah, James Earl Jones is still around, and he has done the voice of Vader recently. But I'm curious what they're going to do with this. Unless they do something like his helmet gets broken, and then the voice changer breaks, and then you just hear Hayden Christensen's voice coming through the mask.
Maybe. Or it could be a hour-long treatise on the finer points of the hatred of sand. You don't know. Could be anything.
That could be its own Disney Plus series right there.
That's the new Nat Geo thing. It's just Hayden Christensen talks to you about sand.
Speaking of Nat Geo, we got the announcement of 2 new Nat Geo shows. Limitless with Chris Hemsworth and Welcome to Earth with Will Smith.
I'm going to go on my mini rant right now. Disney Plus, please stop trying to make Nat Geo happen. It's not going to happen. Nat Geo is fetch, and you need to stop trying to make fetch happen.
they're trying to compete with the History Channel, and they see what the History Channel is doing, and Discovery Channel, and they want some of that too.
Okay, I like documentaries. I honestly, I do.
Mm-hmm.
I am one of the weird people that does like a very well produced documentary. However, this ain't it. What Disney Plus has been trying to do with the Nat Geo stuff ain't it. Where they're trying to get like celebrities to make documentaries cool and stuff. Documentaries aren't cool. They're nerdy. Just let documentaries be nerdy. Just do a proper documentary, get some British celebrity with a sexy voice to calmly ASMR your documentary, and then put it up there for the nerds. It'll be fine. It will find its audience. Get Benedict Cumberbatch to mispronounce penguin for an hour and a half. We'll love it. It'll be fine. Okay? It'll be okay.
All right, so let's get to Walt Disney Studios themselves. We got the first picture of Hocus Pocus 2. We got our Sanderson sisters.
It's a good picture. I mean, it's just the one.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
We'll get a trailer in a few months as we head closer to next year's Halloween when it premieres.
But they all look good. They look appropriate.
I'm wondering because Mary is looking herself, but Kathleen and Jimmy has lost all the weight since then. So I'm wondering if they padded her up or something.
Well, yeah, it does. You know, her body does look like they might have put some padding in, but you can still see it in her face, you know, which is fine. It's been 30 years. Come on.
Yeah.
People change. It's okay.
And again, I'm looking forward to it. I want to see what they come up with.
I'm very interested. It will all hinge on the story.
Yeah.
You know, how you do the plot of bringing them back. But the costumes look great. You know, they've been able to redo the costumes. And you know, the hair and makeup people have done their job putting them back in appropriately. So, you know, just, I mean, these three playing off together. I was one of the people that got a ticket to that little fundraiser that they did last year that Bette Midler put together for some charity that she did. And it was cute, and it was nice seeing them together again, playing these characters. So I have hope for this film. It's all gonna hinge on the script.
Yeah. Moving on, Disenchanted. We have confirmation that it will be coming out next year. And they also put Enchanted up on Disney Plus.
Yeah, this is a sequel to Enchanted. So the Amy Adams, you know, deconstruction of the Disney princess thing.
Years before Frozen.
Yeah, I feel that they owe Matt Groening an apology for stealing his
show name.
His show name. But I like Enchanted as a film, so it'll be interesting to see where these characters are. I don't know if they're going to try to deconstruct the Disney sequel cash grab. That might be interesting. But again, it will hinge on where the plot to this goes.
Again, we haven't seen any footage yet, and we probably will as, you know, the next few months go by.
But it is going to be a Disney Plus exclusive film. This is kind of their version of the direct-to-video sequel. So that's going to be interesting.
It will. And hopefully, you know, they're not going to cheap out like a lot of the Disney direct-to-video sequels do.
Yeah, I hope it won't affect the budget of it in some respects and limit the film that way. So hopefully they'll give it the space it needs to do whatever they're going to do with it.
All right. Probably should have put this with the other Lucasfilm stuff, but Willow, the series. No footage, but we did get footage of Warwick Davis walking around the set, kind of teasing his cast members. But yeah, Warwick Davis is back as Willow.
Yeah, I love Warwick Davis. I mean, we talked about it when we did our Willow episode. I like Warwick Davis as an actor and a person. He's got a good sense of humor about himself. So I'm hoping that comes across a little bit in the series. You know, the movie had some comedy elements in it. So I'm hoping that while the series is going to be a drama, it's going to work some of that comedy into it as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we still don't know a lot about the overall plot of the series and where it's going to go for the character.
Yeah, and Warwick Davis himself doesn't look all that much older. I mean, there's some gray hair, but that could be hidden by a wig.
Yeah, so we don't know how much longer in the timeline of the film's setting this is going to be either. And of course, when you're dealing with a magical setting and magical creatures and stuff, you don't really know how that's going to affect the aging of characters either. So, you know, so much of this is tiny little snippets and teasers and stuff, so we really don't have too much to go on for a lot of these things. But I am very excited for the Willow series ever since they kind of first announced they were looking into doing one.
Yeah. There's so much to pull from. Again, they could take from the books that came out after the film, or they could just, like they did with Star Wars, ignore it and make their own. Either way, I'm very interested in what they come up with.
Yeah.
Coming spring 2022, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers the movie, starring Andy Samberg and John Mulaney. My personal opinion on this, okay, I'm glad they're going to give some love to Chip 'n Dale, but much like a different Chipmunk movie that's now on Disney Plus, Alvin and the Chipmunks, it doesn't make sense to hire celebrities to do the voices when you're just going to speed them up anyway.
Yeah. When you're dealing with that kind of sped up thing, the stunt casting is a little more bizarre a choice.
Yeah. Again, no footage of this was shown, just a picture and the confirmation of Samberg and Mulaney, and that's all we know. I mean, there's some rumors, there's some tweets that came out that it might be similar in the vein to a Roger Rabbit, where there'll be a lot, where this is not necessarily in the universe of the show, but a movie about actors in a show, very Roger Rabbit-esque. Again, we don't know. We don't have a trailer or anything yet. We probably will, probably by next month. If this is coming into spring, we'll probably get one either in December or January.
Yeah, I will be more interested in seeing where they go with it. But right now it's too little information for me to decide how excited I am. I was such a huge fan of Rescue Rangers as a show as a kid. So I don't know. I think the whole thing is going to hinge on Gadget.
We don't even know she's in the movie.
Yeah, and that's the thing. My excitement will totally hinge on is there Gadget? Are they going to use her?
Zendaya as
playing her.
Zendaya as Gadget.
Dude, if Zendaya is Gadget, I would be super into that.
Zendaya is doing all the animated movies now.
I'm very into Zendaya as an actress though, so like I would be into that.
So we got confirmation the new Pinocchio live action remake September 2022 on Disney Plus. We got Tom Hanks, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Keegan Michael Key attached to this. I assume Hanks is playing Geppetto, Levitt is playing Pinocchio, and Keegan is playing Jiminy Cricket, I assume.
I mean, Keegan-Michael Key as Jiminy Cricket would be a very interesting choice and one I would be pretty down with. I don't know if that's how it's going to shake out, but that'd be pretty cool.
I mean, Keegan could play Pinocchio. We don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, no trailer, nothing yet. We're about less than a year away of this movie happening. We'll see more in the next couple of months. One thing we did get a trailer for was Baymax the series. Our favorite balloon robot from Big Hero 6 in his own series where he's going to go around offering help to people.
It looks from the trailer we got that this might be a sort of anthology.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to different people, giving them different advice. There's a moment where he's helping an old lady who's hard of hearing, and he has to raise his voice.
Yeah, you see the little volume thing go up on his chest, which is a cute moment.
We get the return of Aunt Cass as Baymax is running the cafe. There's enough Starbucks jokes to make that whole episode.
Yeah, I thought it was a cute little trailer. It's not super substantial, but it's a series of cute little jokes.
I don't think it's gonna be like full 22-minute episodes. It might just be like 5-10 minute shorts.
It feels to me a lot like Doug Days.
When
I watched the trailer, it felt a lot like that to me. I don't know if that's what they're going for, but it did feel like that, where it just might be a series of short cartoons,
yeah,
centered around Baymax like that. And if that's what we get, that would be cute. I think I would be into that.
Yeah,
I really liked that trailer. It was adorable. So
yeah, we'll find that out in the new year. Blue Sky, technically, even though the studio doesn't exist anymore, because we're getting Ice Age: The Adventures of Wild Buck. Which before we started recording, you said that you had never seen any of the Ice Age movies.
yeah, I've seen clips and stuff. I know that there's the weird little squirrel that chases the acorn. That's kind of what Ice Age is to me, is that weird little squirrel that chases the acorn. Because that's all I've ever really seen of it.
It looks interesting from the trailer they did release, but again, we'll see more later on. We got our first look at the Tiana series. It's just a picture of Tiana, but Tiana's getting her own series, and she looks like she's traveling around.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know much about it, but Tiana traveling and getting to explore the world would be kind of cute.
I wouldn't doubt that the release of the series might coincide with a certain ride retheming.
Yeah, could be.
Maybe. I wouldn't doubt Disney would have that little synergy. Oh, we have our new Splash Mountain Tiana themed ride, and we have a Tiana series that you can watch. Tiana everywhere.
More Tiana is good. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, more Tiana. Let's get to the Pixar part here. We got their next series, Cars on the Road, with Owen Wilson and Larry the Cable Guy returning to reprise their roles as Lightning McQueen and Mater, as the two go on a cross-country road trip. If you're into cars, it's gonna be fun. That's all we know. A couple of concept pictures were shown, and that's it.
I do like that one of the concept pictures is them about to get eaten by what looks like Truckosaurus.
Considering
And
we're doing,
I
yeah.
gotta say, they have pulled this picture straight out of one of my dreams. Because I'm like, you know what I'd love to see? The cars from Cars getting eaten by Truckosaurus.
Yeah, again, we'll find out in the new year. Pixar will also be premiering their first series based off an original idea. Now, they have done Doug Days, we already talked about. They have Monsters at Work and this new Cars series, but this new series is an original idea. Win or Lose, which will follow a school softball team the week before the championship game, and each episode will focus on a different member of the team. So the week from their perspective, you're going to get one episode on the coach, one episode on the coach's kid that's on the team, one episode based off the star player's perspective. And one thing they did announce was one episode will be taken the younger brother of one of the players who has no interest in baseball and has to make up his own little fantasy world while the game's going on.
That will be the episode I watch.
So, I mean, it's an interesting idea that Pixar is doing an original series idea. Again, they could have easily taken any of their movies and rolled them out as TV shorts, short series, whatever, to, for lack of a better term, infinity and beyond. But the fact that they're taking this chance and doing an original idea, I don't hate it.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked before about how I'm not super into sports movies, but I do like the idea of taking a week-long event and doing it bizarrely Rashomon style from each different character's perspective. I like the kind of basic idea. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah. And also we're getting a Zootopia series, Zootopia Plus, which will look like that's actually going to be a short form series where we'll get 5-minute shorts of different characters in the Zootopia world.
We talked about in our Zootopia episode how I had so many questions about how that world worked. So maybe that will answer those questions. I don't know.
Yeah. So now let's get to the most announcements from Disney Plus Day. That would be Marvel. Because Marvel decided to announce all of the things.
All the things! All the Marvel things! This is my jam!
We got a full scene from Hawkeye, which, we'll preface this. Kiki, you did not have a chance to watch that 15-minute Marvel special that they had on Disney Plus.
I did not, unfortunately.
So we're winging it here. So we got a full scene from Hawkeye of a car chase scene. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. It is amazing, and it's done to Christmas music, which is awesome. We got our first look at Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and Ms. Marvel, scenes from the shows that are coming out next year. What they showed of Moon Knight is looking like they really are going to deep dive into the dissociate disorder of the character of Moon Knight, with the multiple personalities and how he'll disassociate into one persona, snap back into another, and wonder, where am I and how are these bodies on the ground?
Yeah, I am looking so forward to seeing Oscar Isaac's performance.
Yeah, we just talked about him in The Last Jedi, how he's getting all these opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah, I am a big fan of Oscar Isaac as an actor. He really is in everything I've seen him in. I've enjoyed his performance. So I am looking forward to seeing him enter the MCU.
Yeah.
And what he's going to bring to that. And especially Moon Knight is a more obscure character for the general public, but if you're into Moon Knight, you are really into Moon Knight. I mean, like,
And
if you meet a Moon Knight fan, they are like really into that character, you know?
Patton Oswalt put Moon Knight in his Marvel sketch thing, so that, and I guarantee you, probably like people were going, "What's a Moon Knight?" And now they'll know.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like, it's one of those things that, like, if you're into him, you have fallen down the rabbit hole, and you are like really looking forward to this.
And the costume doesn't look too bad either, honestly. What they showed, they didn't show the full costume, but the parts they did show looked really cool.
Yeah. So.
She-Hulk. We didn't get a good long view of Jennifer Walters all green. Does look a little, the CGI looks a little unfinished, but that is to be expected. But it looks like it's going to be a really good show and have some comedy in it, because for those of you who may not know much about the She-Hulk original comics, she was breaking the fourth wall long before Deadpool did. And there's a scene in the little trailer that they showed, which is a recreation of the scene from the Incredible Hulk 70s TV show with Bill Bixby, where she says, "Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry." And you get Mark Ruffalo dressed in the same clothes as David Banner from that series. And it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I think that the MCU works best when it remembers that it is not too dark. So I really like when it remembers that, like, oh yeah, we're allowed to do comedy.
Yeah.
So I'm glad they're remembering that part of her backstory,
Yeah.
and her time in the comics.
And we're getting a little bit more of the Professor Hulk, at least because Hulk Banner is still all hulked out in the trailer, trying to teach Jennifer how to transform. We'll see how that goes. Miss Marvel, again, nothing in the costume. We got a little bit of what possibly her powers could be, but not enough to make an accurate description. There's a great line in that little trailer where she says, "Brown girls like her don't get to save the world," and her friend says, "Well, maybe they do." And that would be I think that's that little snippet really sold the show to me, because this is going to speak to those kids that up until now probably haven't been represented in the MCU, who, they're not going to be able to see themselves as, these kind of heroes that have been previously played by white actors and white male actors. So we have this character that is a brown girl and showing her, as a superhero, plus in my book.
Yeah, I am liking the fact that the MCU is embracing more and more diversity.
Yeah, we just got Shang-Chi, we just got the Eternals.
Yeah, and I mean, there's, they're currently filming more Black Panther Wakanda stories, so we're returning to that side of the MCU soon.
Mm-hmm.
We're branching out with stuff like Ms. Marvel, and we're, with Falcon and Winter Soldier, we're branching out more with the Captain America. stuff passing, changing hands.
We're also getting Ironheart, which will feature a black woman essentially becoming Iron Man.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm liking the fact that it's not all just one thing,
Mm-hmm.
And even in stuff like Loki, it's technically all the same character, but it's a white man and a white woman and a black man and an alligator and
and a kid
and a kid and I mean it's, and now technically no matter who you are or what you look like or what you're dressed as or what, congrats, you're a Loki. You can just walk into a convention no matter what you're wearing and be like, hi, I'm a Loki. And nobody can stop you.
I would probably wear my regular clothes and like the Loki crown with the horns. I'm a Loki.
Yeah, and technically you're right. Which I kind of love.
Anyone could be Loki.
Anyone is a Loki now, which I think that's the coolest thing in the Marvel universe at this point. So I think that line is, I think you're right. I think that's probably the coolest thing about that. Good for them.
And since you said it, we did get reaffirmed Loki season 2 coming. What If season 2 coming. A lot of animation projects coming from Marvel. We're getting I Am Groot, which was previously announced, animated series just about Groot. And not just any Groot, but Baby Groot.
Baby Groot!
Baby Groot. I fully doubt we're getting Vin Diesel to voice Baby Groot in the series, but that's fine. Other people have voiced Groot in the past.
But you know what? Why couldn't they get him to do that? You really only need to get him to record that line like 4 times. Just like give an angry I Am Groot, give a confused I Am Groot, give a happy I Am Groot, and then just like replay that in like the context.
Yeah. We got confirmation of Marvel Zombies, the animated series.
I can dig it.
Yeah. Again, that episode of What If was actually pretty good. I guess it was popular enough that Marvel decided, let's make an entire series of this. I don't know if it'll follow the comic book storyline or what. I've heard people already say, make the deal to get Ash Williams in this series. Because he was part of the Marvel Zombie story.
He was, yeah. I mean,
you could you could get Bruce Campbell to voice Ash in a cartoon.
What I really want, considering that Ash Williams was part of the Marvel thing, and considering that all Lovecraft stuff is public domain, and there is a comic in which Ash fights Herbert West from Reanimator. I just want Jeffrey Combs in this. Because I want Jeffrey Combs in everything. So get Jeffrey Combs in the Marvel Zombie series playing Herbert West. That's all I want.
We've got Spider-Man Freshman Year, another animated series set in the MCU showing Peter Parker's freshman year prior to the events of Civil War. Will we see Uncle Ben die for a 3rd time?
I really don't want that. That is the one thing I never want to see again. I never want to see Uncle Ben die again.
Because when we first meet Spidey in Civil War, he says he's had the powers for 6 months. There's a lot of story you can tell in that 6 months.
Yeah.
You could probably see how he met Ned.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So yeah, there was one piece of concept art that showed a younger Tom Holland Spider-Man wearing the glasses. So we might get that part of the comic back in of Peter wearing glasses.
There is a bit of a bit of upset, I guess, in certain circles of the internet that they haven't said that Tom Holland will be voicing Spider-Man for that project. And I'm like, who cares?
He didn't voice Spider-Man for What If. I'm thinking they're gonna get that voice actor to voice Spider-Man here because he
And that
sounded
would be
enough.
fine.
And he sounded enough like Tom Holland that I won't care.
It's like, you know what? The man's got other projects he could be doing. We don't have to shackle him to the MCU. It'd be cool, but,
He's already done movies for every other streaming service out there right now.
Yeah.
So why not? Let him have his career. Let's do the cartoon with someone else. And the last animated project they announced, the biggest one, the one that got everyone blown up, X-Men 97. We mentioned back in our X-Men the Animated Series episode that the original producers had expressed interest in reviving the series. And now we're getting it.
Can we keep saying stuff on the podcast that comes true?
Spider-Man, the Animated Series. I want them to find Mary Jane. Where else can we go with this?
Yeah, because I offhandedly said the thing about like superheroes and therapy, and now that like accidentally is just like the MCU TV series thing.
Yeah.
We said the thing about we wanted X-Men the cartoon back, and now it's happening.
Well, we said we wanted them to redo Splash Mountain, and it became like 2 weeks later we got the announcement.
We got the announcement. But I am super excited for this. It says that they're getting back a lot of the original voice cast, but we haven't gotten a full list yet.
The only thing is that Cyclops has to be recast because his actor did pass away earlier this year.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
One thing that was of note that I want to put here, Allison Court, who played Jubilee in the original series, has said that while she is working on the new show, she will not be voicing Jubilee. Her reasoning is that Jubilee is an Asian character, and she wants to give an Asian actress a chance to play this character, which, fair. That is a bold move for her to step aside from this character that, other than Lunette the Clown, is what she's known to be as to our generation.
Yeah, I mean, that is a very like you said, a bold move, but also a very understanding move.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be a really cool thing if they found a more unknown actress, maybe a younger actress that is the right kind of age for Jubilee, and maybe gave her a break.
Yeah.
Because voice acting is notoriously hard to break into. We've talked about it before.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in an overlooked minority as well. And it might be nice to give somebody a break, especially for a show that will be so scrutinized and looked at, This could make somebody's career.
I want that first episode to start with previously on X-Men and just show me the highlights of the original series.
All of it. Just be a 20-minute long previously on. Just be its own episode. Previously on X-Men. Just be the highlights.
Then set up what we're going to do with these new episodes. Because this is a continuation of the original show, and I'm surprised they're going that way.
Yeah, I'm so hyped for this. I want it so bad. I want it in my eyeballs now.
There have been so many new stories and new characters introduced since that original 92 series that the world is their oyster with these stories and characters. I mean, I would love X-23 in the X-Men animated series style. Deadpool. He was in one episode that he never spoke, but to have Deadpool in his full Deadpool character in this series would be amazing.
Oh, yeah, just so good. So good. Give it to me now.
And that'll be coming, I believe, in 2023. So we have a while.
You
Yeah.
are a cruel mistress, Disney Plus.
We got confirmation on the Echo series. Echo, who will be making her debut in the Hawkeye series. Another deaf superhero, because we have one of the Eternals is deaf. So makes two deaf superheroes in the MCU.
They said that after the premiere of Eternals, which as we're recording this has only been a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Has they have already seen an uptick in people Googling how to learn sign language, and how to find sign language classes, people looking up videos on basic sign language since the Eternals has premiered.
This is why they say representation matters.
Yeah, I mean, representation absolutely matters. And I don't know if Echo will be using sign language at all. I don't know if Echo will be seen to use sign in Hawkeye or in her own series. But if she does, I would expect that to also do. At least in America, American Sign Language is the third most used language in America after English and Spanish. Anything that would make people even basically fluent in just a few helpful signs, it would be an amazing boon to the deaf community. So, yeah.
Which makes it more and more apparent that they made the wrong call to make up their own signs for the Inhuman show.
Well, that I will absolutely defend on one reason.
Mm-hmm.
The Eternals has a person who has been living on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense. I have not seen the film, so I cannot spoil anything because I have not seen the film. But it is my understanding that the character has been living on Earth around humans. Mm-hmm. It would make sense that they would use a human sign language. The character in the Inhumans was living on, like, the moon, surrounded by members of his own species, when he was not allowed to use his voice. He made up that sign to communicate with someone else. Fair. He created that. It does not make sense that he would use the language of people he had not been around.
Fair, but
so it does make sense in that one context. Mm-hmm. So it would be like if they were like, oh, here's this one guy, he lives on the moon, he needs a language to communicate, and suddenly he's like, speaking Hawaiian or something. And it'd be like, why does this one guy who's lived on the moon and has never been to Hawaii speaking Hawaiian? Like, it would just be bizarre. So it does make sense in that one context, and so I'll defend it on that. But I hope that if it's appropriate, that she would use something, maybe. I mean, not all deaf people sign.
But Echo is supposed to be mute, so she won't be able to verbally communicate.
So yeah, I mean, if that is appropriate for her character, I would hope that they would use that and use it correctly. So,
Secret Invasion. We got another confirmation. We got our first look at Secret Invasion with Nick Fury, how he will look in the series. No eye patch, gray beard. That's all we got, but it's very interesting what they're going with this. I mean, Secret Invasion, one of the probably one of the most well-known storylines in the comics. Skrulls invading Earth. I'm curious how they'll adapt that into the MCU.
Yeah, it'll also be interesting to know like which heroes they're gonna bring in.
Yeah.
Because Secret Invasion is like, oh no, our heroes have been replaced, at least some of them have been replaced by Skrulls.
And in some cases, years and years, like the years we follow these characters, turns out they were Skrulls the entire time.
Yeah. Which people are going to show up? You know, who are we going to get to show up in this series?
Yeah,
That's going to be the interesting thing.
Will we get cameos of the other Avengers? Will we get some of the other TV show actors coming in? Who knows?
Yeah.
And the last one we're going to talk about, Agatha, House of Harkness. This was announced earlier this year, but we got the title confirmation. And of course, Kathryn Hahn will be returning as Agatha Harkness.
And if they do not have the Lopez's write an absolutely banger of a theme song for this show, they have missed a trick.
Again, we know nothing about the show other than the name. Will it take place in the modern day? Will it take place in the Salem witch trials? This will likely come out after Doctor Strange. So what's going to happen in will something happen in Doctor Strange that Agatha will be involved? Maybe. We don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how this is going to play into it. I am so fascinated by this because, you know, we're expecting to see Wanda in Doctor Strange because of what happens at the end of WandaVision. Whether or not Agatha will show up as part of that, we don't know.
We don't even know. I mean, there's been talk that Loki might show up in this movie.
In Doctor Strange, yeah.
Because of the multiverse.
I mean, it's obvious that the entire Loki series has set up that film.
And potentially Spider-Man too.
Well, and Spider-Man is needing to set up that film as well. And we know that from the trailers, of course, that we've gotten already, that Doctor Strange is in the Spider-Man film. So, we're in kind of weirdly uncharted territory here. Now that they've opened up the MCU to these TV series, we're having to keep track of more than ever.
And that was one of the things that you were worried about when they first announced these TV shows.
Yeah, I was a little worried about it because we are branching off kind of like the CW DC stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, I want to watch this one TV show, but it's suddenly connecting to 8 other TV shows that I do not want to watch.
At least in this phase, at least in this case, all the shows are not running at the same time like the CW shows are.
Yeah. Marvel is at least staggering it so that I say but so that the viewer can at least attempt to keep track of it all. And they are trying a little bit better thus far than I think that the CW DC stuff has been, to make sure that you can kind of watch each thing independently and still mostly keep track of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's been less of an issue for me because there has yet to be a Marvel thing that has come out that I've gone, not really into that. I'm expecting it to happen one day, but we have not reached that day yet for me personally. We're still in the make mine Marvel and let me drown in it phase of my fandom. So
when they do the Luis story, like when we have Luis recapping Marvel movies, like they have Olaf recapping Disney movies.
Yeah, I mean, it's useful maybe, but they might have to. There may come a day when they just need to put out like, okay, before you see the Doctor Strange movie, here's a YouTube video you need to watch if you haven't been keeping up with everything.
They kind of have. That's what the Marvel Legends show is. Here's a recap of everything you need to know about this specific character.
But I do kind of wonder if they're starting to ask too much of the audience with that.
Some are saying, oversaturation. Some people are saying they're experiencing Marvel fatigue.
I did just have a friend post on Facebook on the day we're recording this, actually, that they just watched one of the Marvel films that said, I just caught up on one of the Marvel films that came out in the past year. I hadn't seen it until now. And guys, I think I may be getting tired of the MCU. So, I mean, it might be happening for some people. I personally am still not that people, but it might be starting to happen. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to speak for other people. I'm still very much in the, sit me down Clockwork Orange style and pump all of the Marvel things into me nonstop.
I'm like Barney in The Simpsons when he sees the bear truck. Just stick it into my veins.
Yeah, it's like I want constant Marvel all the time. At this point, but I realize that I may be in the minority on that. I don't know.
Agreed,
I can understand why some people might be getting fatigued by it.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know. Let us know. I don't know.
Yeah, are you experiencing Marvel burnout? Let us know.
But that's kind of the Disney Plus wrap up, I think.
Yeah, that's all of the major announcements from Disney Plus Day. Let us know if you want us to make more of these minisodes. This is an experiment for us. So, do you want us to do more of these, or do you want us to keep the new segments integrated with the episodes?
But this Disney Plus Day thing was kind of, they put out so much stuff in a fire hose on that one day that we were like, we cannot put this in an episode by itself.
Stay tuned for in a few days. Our special retrospective on The Simpsons is coming. So with special guests. So come back for that. And we'll talk to you all next time. Bye.
Bye. Don't let the magic stop here.
Join our conversation online on Facebook at Rewatching the Magic.
Twitter at Rewatch the Magic.
And of course, new episodes every week at rewatchingthemagic.podbean.com.
Remember, the magic is for everyone.
It only stops if you let it.